Test. Okay. So we played one game with this deck yesterday and Magic Online crashed, so saving it for today. I think this is going to go a good amount better than the other Basim build we played with. Started off here, and like I liked Basim a lot in this deck. The idea was that you are a list that's trying to use both Basim and Satoro and all these 0 mana artifacts to draw a bunch of cards. But it's just like that, it's kind of always the problem when you have 4 Midnight, 4 Ornithopter in your deck is like you just have 4 Midnight, 4 Ornithopters, so the cards that you're drawing are just going to be not that good. So we have this build, which I think is a lot more promising, where you don't get to play Satoro in this deck, but you do get to still play 4 Mox Ambers alongside 4 Emry, 4 Basim, 4 Tamiyo to have 12 1 or 2 mana legends to turn on your Mox. And then you're using Basim as a card advantage engine, Emry as a card advantage engine, and Tamiyo and the Ring. Just have like lots of card advantage to translate into a bunch of pitch spells with Force of Negation, Subtlety, removal spells with Fatal Push, and win the game with Basim and Urza Saga is kind of just the general shell here. Basim is doing a pretty good Beans impression, or like at least a solid Beans impression, where it's a 2 mana card that's going to immediately draw you a card most of the time. The turn you come down with a 0-drop, and then also like gets kind of big, kind of quick, and kills your opponent, which is not something Bean does. Of course, and obviously only triggering once a turn is tough. Being a creature is tough, but the fact that it triggers off 0 mana spells instead of pitch cards is pretty dang sick. I guess if you haven't read this card, we played a little bit of it yesterday, but it's 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card, and this card can't be blocked this turn. And Mox Amber and Mishra's Bauble are 0 mana historic cards, but you also have Tamiyo, Emry, the Ring, all Urza Saga targets. So you have a lot of historic cards here. We got 2 Urza Sagas. Gonna mulligan this, and now we have no lands. Good morning to us. My QP is being transferred off draw. I haven't reached out. I've been out of town. I've been busy. But we'll see. Appreciate the concern. Okay, so my opponent is also on a mold of 5 here. I'm probably supposed to put these 2 back, but I'm kind of thinking maybe this Force of Negation would be good against a mold of 5. Have I brewed at all with Shifting Woodlands and Red Green Breach? I haven't. So so one big issue is that it's very difficult to save the Bauble for the Basim. It's very difficult to Woodland and Emrakul, right? Because it shuffles back in. But you can do it if you already have Delirium, or if you get Delirium discarding Emrakul with the trigger on the stack. So there may be something there. But copying Ulamog isn't very good because you don't get the +1 counters. But it's like I'm a little. It's like obviously like a little frustrated. Ooh. Okay, well I was right about needing this Force of Negation. Come on, Basim, draw me a blue card. We also have the Bauble, looking for a blue card. Alright, crack on our turn. There's a Wish. Come on, Mishra's Bauble. Oh, you mean Underworld Breach? No, I haven't. I guess Woodland seems a little expensive for the Breach plan. Blue card, baby, 1 time. Ugh. Bummer. Please play Gemstone Caverns in the senior deck. It's kind of tough. It's like maybe in the board, but you certainly do not want to draw that one. They won the flip. They're thinking about they're thinking about transforming. Decide no. Yes, animations seem to still be undisableable, which is a choice for sure. Yeah, I know there's so many 1 mana white cards. I'm a little bit worried about it. Okay, they hit a Pyretic Ritual, Ruby Medallion, and a Grape Shot. Probably not going to be able to win here. Ruby Storm still playable, it seems. Not lost a flip yet. Discord said they should be able to be disabled. Yeah, for whatever reason for me, I can't disable them. Scared to click Restore. Defaults. Should the white deck play Monumental Hinge since you have so many legends? We already really utility landed out, right? So we have Flagstones for our White Orchid Phantoms, we have Aganjos for our legends, we have Windbrisk Kites, and then Numeria's Call for the Windbrisk Kites, and then we have basic planes, which you need, especially if you're Orchiding yourself, and we just don't have that many We don't have that many white sources, you know what I mean? I mean, if they just Grape Shot and kill my board and don't flip Row, we could maybe get there. Instead, they are going to let their Grape Shot go to the yard and cast a Valakut Awakening. And they win the flip, and they flip the Row. Dang, why couldn't they just lose this flip? Wait, they plus. Okay, because they have a land. Okay. But Spirit Kindred deck, since White Orca got printed, it's pretty good Flare of Denial deck. I haven't thought about it. Is it a good Flare of Denial deck though? Like what spirits are good to sack to Flare? Maybe flowering the White Tree Final. It's in there. We have two flowerings right now. We may like talk about some of the numbers here. Like I'm playing like one Jolted Awake. I don't know if that's worth it. I'm playing. We could maybe go cut it for second Isamaru. I don't think Solitude is like very good in the main deck. We could talk about it. Spellqueller? Spellqueller is not good to sack the Flare of Denial, right? They just get their thing back. Mausoleum Wanderer, Spectral Sailor. Okay, so when I think of a card that is good to sack to the blue flare, I am usually thinking of cards that give me like an ETB effect or a dice effect. I'm not like super happy to just be sacrificing my Mausoleum Wanderer, Spectral Sailor. I'm also, side note, long time Spectral Sailor hater. If Spectral Sailor has no haters, I'm off this earth. You know what I mean? I just can't stand that card. Rattle Chain's basically the only one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you could sack White Orchid, Knight of the White Orchid Phantom, like that would be an example of one that gives you an ETB, then it's on its way out. Doom Travel, yeah, I can't sack that one. That would be if you could sack Doom Traveler to Flare, it would unironically be good. Bant Tempo with Flare and X-Mage, Oracle, Reflector Mage, etc. Cool. Q. So we do have Damping Spheres in the sideboard, and we do have a Grafdigger's Cage we can get off of our Urza Saga to stop Past in Flames, which is kind of nice. And they did finally lose a flip. I just can't. I have to like just draw my Pithing Needle to be able to beat this this Row, which is kind of awkward. I'm obviously hoping that they don't have a lot after this, so I think I'm just gonna play Emry with the intention of like digging for my shadow, not my Shadowspear, my Pithing Needle, because I just gotta needle this. Consign with Counterstorm. So the thing about Consign is like Consign countering Grape Shot is just not something that's particularly relevant. It's just very. I would be very happy if I played against an opponent who was like in on this plan. It does counter Mox Ruby, which is nice, and so we might bring it in. And one nice thing too is that it counters the Static Prison ETB. So if you have Damping Sphere, it can stop that. They lost the flip. Presumably that's what they just wished for. Did this deck go through a variation of the Nazo deck? During my drafts, yes. Okay, so I can sack a clue to try to find my one of Pithing Needle. Or I can hope that a Force of Negation is able to somehow stabilize through this Ral ultimate, which I think is not very likely, but this thing is probably a little bit more likely than my opponent's, or so than me just drawing the needle. I like the arrow over Emry. The arrow over Emry. I don't know what this means exactly, but I'd love to find out. Alright, we need a lot of lands and a lot of ruby medallions. Oh. You sure about that? Yeah, the decision. they're maybe weak to ring protection. Now Spellbomb helps. I've drawn all my non-Pithing Needle Urza Saga targets, which is a little bit funny. All right, Basim time. When playing with Sinu, how many legends do you recommend running? Um, I don't think you need that many. So for me, it's like mostly I'm kind of happy to just have So I'll play this. I don't need to draw a card off the Spellbomb. I don't feel like you really need that many. I think you're more or less happy. Like I'm gonna pitch this to Force and get it back at some point. In the list we're playing over here, we have including Sinu, which I guess I guess you should. So including Sinu for flowering, right? Like these two cards are good together, but Sinu isn't good with other Sinus. We have 9, but considering playing the second Isamaru over the Jolted Wake, maybe that I don't know if that is a lot. I guess that's not a few. So they hit 3 Rin's Resolves. So let's let the first one resolve. And then if it bricks, we can just force the other two. Manamorphose and Arousal. I guess maybe we could just force Manamorphose, force the next one. Or potentially let the other one go. I'm going to force this Manamorphose for sure, though. Opponent has lost the flip. I'm very shocked that we are in this game, though. I didn't pay attention to Assassin's Creed stuff. Is it relevant? Basim is a really good card, and there's a few other kind of interesting stuff, but I think this one is the most. The other one-drop dog was legal, the one that gets encountered over in Legendaries. Yeah, that card would be pretty cool. Okay, so this one doesn't require mana. So they lost this flip. But I'm mostly going to be trying to counter the next ritual. Although I guess the problem here is they can maybe flip Arousal. I'm going to counter this. They do have one more Rin's Resolve. And I guess I've contributed 2 to the storm count. But yeah, they can ultimate this Ral, I think, if they... Okay, they lost this flip. And they brick, kind of. I guess they can cast a Glimpse. Or did they already play their land for turn? I thought they hadn't. Oh, we get to untap. We get to untap. I don't know how this happened, but we got to untap. My life total ain't the highest. I'll definitely take this second Force of Negation, though. Flip the Tamiyo. The other Force of Negations are welcome enough. So we'll cast this, draw another card. Another Tamiyo. Let's take a look at... Oh, I cannot take a look at my top card. Oh, sorry, I can't. For some reason, I thought I had ring protection. I don't know. Don't know why I thought that, actually. Okay, let's draw 5 more. I would like to find, like, an Emry for my Shadowspear. That would be nice. I did find Emry for my Shadowspear. I don't get the counter if I go after the Ral. But I can also I'm just going to probably put the Shadowspear on my Saga token. Still have double pitch available. It's going to be very, very nice to have just the rest of the Force of Negations. Truly a loss for how we're alive here. Me too. I don't know. I just kept tapping the ring, and then they kept not killing me. We can pick up another Force of Negation next turn. We don't have, that many cards left in our library, I guess. I'm going to force this Glimpse. Past in Flames costs 3 to flashback at the moment. With Emry, you can loop rings forever to win. Well, it depends, because like they should have a way to win through ring via wish. I usually do empty plus the extra turn effect that also says damage can't be prevented. I think that one is typically a pretty good path. Yeah, I'm gonna force this also. I don't think their last card really can be a ritual, because we knew they drew this for turn. They would have cast a ritual last turn, which is what they would need to flash back the Past in Flames. I guess they do have this Fiery Islet, though. But they play Scalding Tarn instead. Wait, did they put Gigantha into their hand on the previous turn? I think they did. Opponent is definitely fumbling the bag. Okay, so 4/4 Construct. Take 5. You can get a Shadowspear on my Construct. I can replay a ring. I can get a Bauble off this, so this would be 5/5, 6/6, 7/7. This will be unblockable. I have 4 Fatal Pushes in my deck I haven't drawn yet. Let's go ahead and make a Construct for the extra point of power here. Not 100% sure that's right. But I'm very almost locked to draw a Fatal Push in this spot. Okay. Maybe this was a problem. Flipping this Tamiyo. Yikes. No, I just saw lethal. Wow, we won that game. What the fuck? Rice in 23 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Good start to today, huh? Okay, let's bring in this Grafdigger's Cage, bring in the Damping Spheres. I might not play 0 Consigned to Memories, but I'm not going to play very many, if any. I want to keep in the Haywire Mite. Shadowspear did... I'm going to cut all the subtleties. Shadowspear did come up that game. I don't know. It's kind of good if they have empty to like have that in the deck. I'm not sure if I want like, you know, again, Consigns. I think I will bring in the second Nihil Spellbomb and maybe not the Soul Guide Lantern. I think that could make some sense. I think I'm going to play 1 or 0 Consigns. Let's do 0. Okay, Earth, 5 months, thank you, welcome back. Quonk with the Switch Prime, appreciate you. Hope you all are doing well. Thank you for tuning in today. Appreciate all the support and the subs. Well, I'm going to keep this hand. We can beat a turn 2 kill by having a turn 1 Damping Sphere plus Tamiyo, maybe. Well, I guess not having black mana is kind of bad here. But I probably want them to go for the turn 2, because I have Force of Negation plus Nihil Spellbomb. If they can win through this, it's probably just fine. If I draw a land, I can go Basim into Damping Sphere and draw a card. Sunburn's getting a lot better for the most part. Okay, there's a round. Iceland Lover, I think we switch Prime. Shout out to all the Icelandiers. Aloe really helps with Sunburn. Yeah, I know all about Aloe. Really want to see your post image 3 Amalia. Yeah, I was thinking we would maybe brew that on stream today. I worked on this and I worked on the Yggdrasil after last night's stream, and then I crashed. For some reason I keep getting like really stuck, and maybe I just shouldn't be so stuck on this, but I'm kind of like, I'm not really happy that if you play this deck, if you're playing Amalia with all these new white creatures, that your green card count for Chord of Calling is just kind of miserable. So I'm not really sure what to rectify that. I think I'm just gonna sack Clue. Let's find some lands. Still have Nihil Spellbomb, Damping Sphere, Force of Negation. Can't feel too upset. Okay, so we'll just force whatever to get off the wish. Birthing Ritual Amalia. Yeah, a lot of people have been wanting to play Birthing Ritual in the Amalia deck also, which is not something I necessarily feel like makes all that much sense, I guess. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. We'll think about it some more. Kylo's Reconstruction, maybe? I mean, that card is just not very good. What if you played Coco over Cord? Since you can find both combo pieces. Well, so the issue with that would be kind of simply that Coco is much worse than Court of Calling. And it's 4 mana instead of 0 mana, and it doesn't always find you what you're looking for. It's, you know, this is the reason why Nadu is so busted, why Yawgmoth had been so busted for a long time. It's like Court of Calling is just this 0 mana instant speed, put the thing you need into play. Well, they do have Shattering Spree, and then they have Replicated, but are they going to target my Nihil Spellbomb, or are they going to target the Damping Sphere again to play around Force of Negation? They target the Nihil Spellbomb. Goodbye, Basim. Alright, having trouble finding lands. Attack Ral to send a message. What that message is, not exactly sure. Alright, let's go ahead and play another Spellbomb. Oh, right. Sorry. I was like, for some reason I knew I couldn't do this into Emry, and then I don't know why I didn't think I could. Or I don't know why I thought I could do this into Spellbomb. If you really wanted to, you could with Vile Eldarmy's Call build as well as play as 1-drops. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I. Everything is much worse than Court of Calling. If you're playing a creature-based combo deck in Modern and you're not playing Court of Calling, your deck is probably misbuilt, is what I'm trying to say. Aether Vial plus Eldarmy's Call, Collected Company are just much, much weaker. They're much, much weaker. And I know that Ocelot Pride and Guide of Souls are very good, and you could be excited about playing those cards at Amalia, but if you do that, you really need to figure out how to get that green card count up. So like it's like Force and OT Scouts probably also, but I'm not sure that it's going to work super well. Do you apply reduction? Do reductions apply before increase? I don't know. Oh, you're saying we could have cast Emry. We could have cast Emry. So they splice. They've cast 4 spells this turn. They cast... you cast Pass in Flames? There's no way you can do it. What are you doing? This is still here. Your next thing costs 5 more. You could cast Emry. So apparently I can go Nihil Spellbomb, Emry, the intention of sacking said Spellbomb. Plus 1, right? Joho, the 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. They should have played DRC and Storm PT. Yeah, I'm still surprised people are just not liking the card, but it is what it is, I suppose. Well, they got 3 cost reducers. How's Storm supposed to win through these cards? Well, I mean, one thing is they punted game 1 probably, so them not doing that would have helped. This Ral, yet again, is posing a serious threat to Ultimate. Remember, I sent you the Animus list. You asked why I wasn't playing Gorios, and after Goldfish, you play numbers. I have answers if you care. Sure, yeah. Because yeah, for me, that would be like that is the only question I really have when it comes to putting the Animus in your deck. It's like why would you register the Animus? Okay, I think I'm flipping Tamiyo first because I want to find Fatal Push so I can attack the Ral potentially. Yeah, the big question that you would have to answer is why play the Animus over a Goryo strategy? But would certainly love to hear if there is a reason. Okay, so I don't find the Fatal Push. Can needle the... Oh, sorry, this is -8, so we can just needle it next turn. Yes, I think I will do this. Yeah, maybe they forgot to plus the round last turn. I can't cast the Bauble because it does cost 2 more here. Does Ral ult be Damping Sphere? It can, yeah. It's kind of like the way that like Ruby Storm can like just brute force their way through anything is the theory. Obviously, this doesn't always happen in practice. I have a feeling you forgot to bring Needle in. Well, I'm main decking the Needle. Did I board it out? It kind of does look like I boarded it out. Oh, huh. Okay, so the thing is, I used to have the Needle in the main deck. And I cut it for the 21st land this morning. Oops. So now we're hoping to find the first Fatal Push so we can poke this in and have a construct to deal with this afterwards. I mean, we may still just be able to overpower it, but... Make a construct. Grab a Shadowspear. Find a Fatal Push. Find a Fatal Push. Easy. Poke the Ral. You may have missed a comment, forgot to tag. I mean, I'm playing a game. I can't read every comment. I'll take a look though. I'm interested. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to say tagging is not like a good way to get me to see the comment. You know what I mean? Just give me a sec. So I guess I need to unpitch one of these. I guess we need to keep the cage. It's fine. I don't need the backup ring since I just have the Shadowspear. Okay, well, here the comment is: it's an artifact for Emry, a legendary spell for Basim, and the play pattern of turn 1 Emry, Bin, Animus, and Gristlebrand as Christmas Land is super powerful. Yeah, those are reasons for sure, and I appreciate the feedback. At the very least, you should probably have both in the deck. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna have Animus in your deck, you should also have Gorios. And then another thing too is like at least on like specifically Gristlebrand, if that's what you're trying to copy, Agatha's Soul Cauldron might just be like the better thing to do there. But thank you for taking the time to answer. End up on 4 Agatha through so you're only on those. That's interesting. That is interesting. I mean, I would like to see a list if you want to share a list. Okay, so I don't know if I'm countering this Past in Flames. My opponent's next spell is going to cost 4 more and then 3 less. And so they can Manamorphose. I guess could I be losing to a Grape Shot here? I don't know. I just force this. Whatever. Bizarro with the 41. Thank you. Welcome back. Take a look. Not seen that Gristlebrand. All right. You definitely need a cookbook to discard your Gristlebrand that you can get off Urza Saga. I don't know if this Archway makes sense because like if you try to improvise Gristlebrand, you still need 4 black mana, and then you have to spend 2 mana here, so it's like 6 mana. Yeah, I probably would not play the Archway. And I don't understand why we have the artifact lands. Seems like they're mostly here just to make Saga tokens bigger, which just doesn't really make any sense. It's just not worth the tap land that can get like turned off by Karn. Looks like a good start. Okay, I plus Tamiyo. Look for my Shadowspear. Find Shadowspear. Tap the ring on their turn, I guess. So we can go. Okay, they can see. Alright, Mulligan. Basim. My opponent kept 7. I'm going to put back the Subtlety, I guess. Yeah, that was only game 2. Goodbye, Basim. Probably might take push, I guess. Chat really wants to know what Basim does. 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. So Tamiyo, Mox Amber, Mishra's Bauble, the One Ring, Emry, all historic spells, and then the card cannot be blocked till end of turn. Whenever it deals combat damage to your player, you get a counter on it. Yeah, Basim kind of rules. Okay, hopefully you don't get Necroed. Gonna graveyard Emry since she is uncastable here. Any historic spells that we can cast on opponent's turn? There's not many. It's like Vincer, Vendilion Click, cards everybody loves and are not very good. Yeah, Smoke Bomb. Yeah, Felia, that is one for sure. Man, isn't it just great when they just don't have Necro? Could be maybe prudent for me to not crack this fetch since my opponent could have a Shieldred next turn and I need Revolt for Fatal Push. Also, maybe maybe I should have got my one of Breeding Pool here. If they Bowmaster my Haywire Mite, I'll push before they can have Malika Rebirth up. Oh, Flute, yeah, Flute. Can you play Basim in a Dimir Show with Affinity and Cannoneer? We did that yesterday, and it was so sick. And it was also pretty bad. Okay, goodbye, the One Ring. Hello, the One Ring, off the top. Not this time. I think being able to, like, maybe Otawara a Necrodom if they play it is probably enough of a reason to shock in this Watery Grave. Push the Grief. I don't have Revolt, so if I cast Fatal Push on the Grief, I would be just putting the Fatal Push into the graveyard. I'm confused how Basim is good. Yeah, it's a 2 mana, draws a card every turn. And then also gets bigger. Am I gonna Otawara the Grief? I guess so. Problem is, like, I just know I'm gonna draw Basim if I do this. Okay. I, in fact, did not just know I would draw Basim. Yeah, someday this looks a lot better. Would probably be on like would almost definitely be on Fatal Push over Dismember in the board, but yeah, good start. Looks nice. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I also do not like that Codex Shredder. That card should not be in there probably. Interesting. Maybe they have a Shieldred and they're just like. I guess they could just cast the Shieldred too. So this is getting Fatal Pushed. I imagine this goes on the bottom, but maybe they just want the threat. They put it on top. I mean, we'll have our hand empty, I guess, unless we draw. I guess we have some cards that, yeah, like exactly these cards. 2 of them. Why would drawing Basim have mattered? Because I would want to cast Basim and then I would want to cast Basim and then Mox Amber, which would be awkward if I just put a Grief in their hand. I want to be able to hold up the Subtlety. But now if I draw Basim, I can hold up Force of Negation. I'm going to main phase this in case I draw another Subtlety, maybe. Basim. My opponent probably has like 3 removal spells in their hand, too. Obviously, happy enough to take a One Ring in this spot. I haven't seen anybody say anything about connection issues, nor have I had any connection issues. But maybe something going on, yeah. The 2-ring. So it is possible that they have had a Necro, and then they just saw, or they had Necro, and they saw I had this Force. But maybe not. And definitely not. That's nice. I'll tell you what, our Necro opponents were not drawing like this yesterday. Basim! So they did find a Bowmaster, which is pretty bad. Right on time, Subtlety. So I'm going to play the Mox Amber first. I wonder, maybe I'm supposed to cast a second ring in this spot. I want to get to make a construct, but I could Shadowspear my Basim. I mean, the problem is my opponent just is going to have like they just have a removal spell in their hand, so and I'm dead to one removal spell, so I guess I have to do this. Like there's just kind of no shot they don't have a removal spell in their hand. We do still have 3 Fatal Push in the deck. My opponent Soul Spikes me, which I cannot Force of Negation. What are the other 2 cards they pitched? They pitched a Flare of Malice, which they could have used to kill Basim, and a Birth. Tough time for them to find the Bowmaster. Seemed like they didn't have it the turn prior. Let's bring in the Murderous Cut. Let's bring in Flute for Necro, potentially. Second Haywire Mite for Necro is also kind of nice. Gonna cut the Nihil Spellbomb. I don't know if this is something I want. I think 3 Subtleties, not 4. I want to keep the Shadowspear in. Let's bring in the Flute. Let's cut a Mox Amber. Click submit. Were you dead here? Yes, I was at 5 life. My opponent had 4 damage Soul Spike targeted at me. And then 4 damage Soul Spike targeted at me. And then I was dead to the Bowmaster trigger. Does Consign stuff to Necro trigger? It does, but then like the Necro is still in play, and then they just get a trigger next turn. So it doesn't seem like probably a very effective way to fight that. Would you agree? Nice. I guess I play this now to play around discard spells. Notably, if my Tamiyo flips, the Mox Amber taps for green for Haywire Mite. Kind of like a little fun thing. Could also have saved this for Basim, but I think I'm just getting this. Just getting it down. Now, thankfully, no Bowmasters. Counter on Basim. I guess maybe I should have attacked with the Haywire Mite. And then I think I would prefer to leave up the... Oh, sorry. I can't. For some reason, I was thinking I could flip the Tamiyo and then... Oh my gosh, no! I meant to cast the ring here. And I just like misclicked this cacophony of errors, unfortunately. It is the best draw. As a consolation prize here. Yeah, but I was thinking I could flip Tamiyo and then also have Haywire Mite activation available for our opponent's Necro, but that wasn't possible. We're doing okay here. So I mean, this is going to take the Force of Negation, but I guess that's going to be fine. Basim seems to have a similar game plan from a call except for the mana cost. Well, yeah, I mean, taking a whole point off the mana cost is is certainly a big deal. So I do get to pick up this this Force of Negation, which is nice. Then I think I'm somewhat committed to casting this Tamiyo, but I want to do this before I pick up the Force of Negation, since I'm about to let my opponent draw a card. Fuck. The second Bowmasters. Basim down. They got 3 cards in their hand, though. Got some Saga tokens coming down. This one is getting pretty big, though. It suspends a Profane Tutor. Presumably, they're also going to hit me for 5. Nice that Tamiyo grows these constructs, of course. Pretty confident that I'm just going to Shadowspear, get a tapped Breeding Pool. They have a Fatal Push on my construct. We have kind of an interesting... I guess I'm just not really going to be blocking. Yeah, not really going to be trading here very often. Okay, opponent goes down to 12. It's just that, you know, my constructs are just growing every single turn. So this ticks down. So I definitely want to prioritize playing my ring next turn, so this way my Force of Negation can counter Necro without it being discarded first. Although, looks like I just have to Necro now. But maybe my opponent's life total will be too low for Necro to matter that much by next turn. Feels possible, at least. Like, this will be potentially 8 power trample. If I play the ring and attack with Tamiyo. Yeah, let's play the ring first. They have to lose 2 for that. I think with this Undying trigger on the stack, we should tap the ring. I might also try to flip Tamiyo. It's either flip Tamiyo or play Basim. They're putting a damage here, which means if I draw another card, they can kill my Bowmaster. So let's... Or so they can kill my construct with the new the Bowmaster coming back. So let's not But let's also not play Basim, so I can have Subtlety for Shieldred. That seems probably more prudent, right? Basim was the only card I said I thought would be playable. I think there's a few more. I did a video talking about him, but Basim is like the only one that I think could be like a real player in the metagame. You know what I mean? I don't think there's gonna be a lot of I don't think the bird is doing that much. I don't think Yggdrasil is gonna be fantastic, but it could be okay. Kind of a hard thing to figure out. Yeah, Necro doesn't seem all that scary with them being on 7 life. I think they should go for Shieldred, maybe not. I mean, they're also just kind of behind on board. We'll see what they do. They've got 2 cards in their hand. I'd be happy enough with, I mean, if they Damnation, they're going to lose to my ring. They get Necro. What about Smoke Bomb for sideboards? Smoke Bomb is not close to being a constructed playable card. I wish this wasn't the case. I did actually pitch for the card to be a bit better than it is at the moment, but Smoke Bomb has to be sacked, so it doesn't do anything against Nadu. Okay, so we are on the draw. Consign to Emry notably does stop Profane Tutor for being cast. They're not playing the ring probably, so probably not going for that. Yeah, we had the tax collector deck we played yesterday was so fun. It's possible you could figure that build out. Interested in revisiting Collector Cage with a red-white energy cell since Reach 3. Been running last a couple weeks, doing pretty well. Okay, well, my big issue with that plan, I guess we could keep in this. My big issue with that plan of playing Collector's Cage as a red-white deck is like Raptor is pretty bad if your deck has a bunch of like Emrakuls and stuff. I don't think I can afford to Force of Negation this. Consign gives you time versus Necro. I suppose. I don't know if that's like really like how real that is. Oh my gosh, the Tamiyo was hidden under my menu, and I'm like, what did I do? The Tamiyo died. My heart like skipped a beat. On a combat research, a Tamiyo Basim deck. Combat. I don't know what the card combat research is. Don't Inquisition me, thank you. Yeah, simply have 15 energy, dude. It's not that hard. Enchanted creature, whenever it deals coming at your player, draw a card. Enchanted creature's legendary, +1/+1, ward 1. That's kind of cool. Probably not somewhere I really want to be, to be honest, but it's cool. So they bolt themselves with the bog. There's the Necro, very scary. Whenever they go like 1 mana interaction, 1 mana interaction, Necro, it's always just so nasty. Thankfully, they don't have the Soul Spike. If I can draw a Bauble, that would be pretty nice. Tazri and MEF Raptor are pretty rare, but having the Energy Shell has made Nami games a bit better. I mean, I'll take a look at your list if you want to see the list. Any clips, videos, and thoughts of Pro Tour the modern meta in general? I mean, we talked a lot about it on Monday. I didn't like post a video about it. Feed this worm, huh? You lose 2 life with that. Yeah, I didn't do a video, but Nadu needs to be banned. Congratulations to Simon. Congratulations to Javier. Congratulations to Ely. Congratulations to Seth. I'm surprised Ruby Storm did so poorly. Despite I'm not necessarily surprised it did bad, but I'm surprised it did like that bad. You know what I mean? Wait, they don't draw a card here? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have like any super hot takes. Nadu like so obviously needs to be banned, and then the Necro decks are good. I think I'm surprised like that there wasn't like a ton of Eldrazi. Okay, well, I'm so happy to have this Fatal Push. Yeah, not really any super duper juicy takes. Lucky me. So I guess my opponent can try to have their 3-card hand be Soul Spike, black card, and that could stabilize them. Nope. Okay, 2-0. Why we're playing a bunch of Priest of Fellrights now? I guess I'm keeping this on 6 on the draw. You know what I mean? It's like Priest of Fellrights has been a card that I felt like for a long time has just been pretty shitty. Like I'm just not excited to register Priest of Fellrights. Like I haven't been like all MH2, and I'm just kind of surprised people are like really all of a sudden in on it. But maybe that's just like a symptom of the more combo focused metagame. It's become better, but that's kind of been like just the big thing that's really surprised me is this is something people are doing now. Nadu or Shuko first. So what's funny is you use the word first. It's like, which is just the implication, ban Shuko, and then, oh no, we still have to ban Nadu. It's just, I feel like Nadu is like one of the most obviously needs to be banned cards ever. Because again, not only is like the win rate too good, is it too hard to like hate out and beat? Like the whole PT metagame seemed to like either you played Nadu or you thought you could beat Nadu and you were wrong for the most part. But not only is Nadu like, you know, this Hogak, it's like too powerful, just this broken card, but it's also a Karn Clan Ironworks. It's also a second Sunrise. It's a card that makes tournament logistics just unfeasible, and it needs to go. All right, let's let Seder Wayfinder resolve and see what our opponent's cooking over here. Ooh, oh dude, Safi Altar of Dementia combo is so cool. That is so cool. Interesting. So I can play an Emry or I can play a Basim. Unfortunately, I can't get my card off Basim here. I think that's still what I'm gonna cast. Emry can draw me a card off Basim next turn. Would Selfless Illusionist have been healthier printing? Especially considering how oops it has to be in Modern. I'd been a little confused. Let's ban my. I think no matter what we're saying here, I have the opinion we should ban Nadu. I mean, if I draw a land, I have Revolt for Fatal Push potentially. I feel like this card is maybe a little too Fatal Pushable for me to Subtlety right now. Maybe could go wrong. Okay, haven't found my third land yet. If I evoke Subtlety on their next thing, then I can push the 6, which is something. How did Reliquary Taxes go? Not that well, unfortunately. Of course, the right target is Nadu. Will they do that? I mean, obviously, we don't know for sure. But I will say that, like, I think Wizards has done a pretty good job managing the Modern ban list for a long time. I think the last time they really, really messed up was when they banned Bridge from Below instead of Faithless Looting or Hogak, and then they fixed their mistake. And I don't know, I think it'll probably end up being fine. This Birthing Ritual is kind of scary. I could force the Birthing Ritual, maybe. But I'm kind of prefer maybe they play like a creature first, and I get the Subtlety and then Fatal Push. So they do play this Birthing Ritual. Alright, let's force. Okay, fair enough. But looting still banned Sag. Yeah, looting I think probably still deserves to be banned. So they get back Safi, and if they can retrace this Altar of Dementia, we're gonna be officially cooked. So can I can cast another Mox Amber, sack a clue, flip Tamiyo. Oh, but then I can't. Sorry, I was thinking I could also somehow cast this Haywire Mite to go after the Birthing Ritual. And then my Mox Amber will tap for green, but my Mox Amber only taps for green if I flip the Tamiyo, like I would only have enough mana to like sack Clue. Yeah, this not gonna be enough mana. Okay, I'm gonna float a black, and then I'm gonna cast this Mox Amber, and then see what happens, I think. So if I push the 6, my opponent can Softy it back into play. I think I'm still doing this. It can tap for calls for Basim. Well, I need green mana to Haywire Mite the Birthing Ritual specifically is what I'm trying to say. Ring gives pro alter. Yeah, but they can alter combo me on my turn, can't they? You can play another Mox Amber to flip Tamiyo. This only triggers once a turn. I have to sack a clue or tap a ring to flip Tamiyo. And do you still like the Nourishing Shield Necro built-in testing, or is mono black version just better? The mono black version is just better. Play that build. All right, pretty cooked. Very cool deck they got over there. They did mill 3 non-lands, so if they don't have, they do have to have 2 lands in their hand to retrace Sophy and Alter. Oh, maybe we're gonna be okay. Although if they find a Sophy in the top 6 or sorry, top 12, we're cooked. Forgot to bring my Emrakul today. Okay, Sophy comboed. Very cool. So let's bring in this Grafdigger's Cage. Let's bring in Disruptor Flute. I think I'm gonna go down on Emry's if I'm going in on the cage. I think it's probably gonna be okay. Haywire Mite Emry also seems pretty good. We'll just trim one Emry. This card just does seem kind of lights out against them, and they'll maybe answer it. Then Emry comes back online. Let's bring in the Murderous Cut. Don't really feel like we necessarily. We need the Shadowspear in our ring deck probably. Just gotta have the life gain. So the first Pithing Needle. Maybe just play Needle instead of Flute. I kind of like having all the pitch. Or maybe I just want to trim one of each pitch card too. Seems that could be okay. This looks kind of nice. 1 Nihil Spellbomb, 2 Haywire Mite, 1 Shadowspear, 1 Needle. Seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, Birthing Ritual's a good card. No lander. His hand's got some lands in it. Think I'm putting back the Murderous Cut. High Knot in the face. So we're lucky enough to get to Surveil. Graveyard. Delta in the spot. Grab a Breeding Pool and Basim Mox Amber. And if I draw a land, or if I draw something else to trigger Basim next turn, I'll cast the Haywire Mite off the Mox Amber. But if I miss on my land, then it's probably going to be nice for me to just guarantee I have the next thing to trigger Basim with. Can I let the opponent combo if that ever happens? No, I don't know why I would want to. Like the combo is very long, but the combo is Sophy, Renegade Rallier, Altar of Dementia, mills me for infinite, and I don't feel a need to make my opponent go through the motions on that and waste all of your time and waste my time. Cool. Malevolent Rumble reveals Skyclave Apparition, Sophy, Misty Rainforest, and another Rumble. And they put the Skyclave into their hand. I'm okay if they just spin their whole next turn, Skyclaving my ring, and I draw a card off Basim, and I draw another ring, and I draw a card off the ring. Yeah, Rumble's been a pretty good constructed card, I think. They're thinking about it. They'd go after the ring. Draw Fatal Push. I think maybe I'll go cast Grafdigger's Cage first. Kind of weird. But I want to be able to make a Saga token. Also, now we now we can push the Skyclave, get a 4/4 token, make a Saga token, hold up Haywire Mite, Fatal Push, stop like Collected Company from doing anything. Hit in for 4. Another counter on Basim. 2 mana 4/4. Unblockable. Draw 3 cards so far. Yeah, Basim is like pretty dang good. But it is getting exiled by Skyclave here. Take it all back. This seemed bad. Has Daybreak said anything about Decklist aren't back? No, it seems at this moment kind of apparent that they broke something. What that something is, I don't know. But something's broken for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. The cage just is turning off this birthing ritual. So my opponent will probably sack the Skyclave, or maybe not, but. Okay, so let's just power play. You are already dead. Power play is also a very fun cube card if you've never played with it. It is also like pretty broken. Although I guess what's the best? So we used to always have those conspiracy cards in cube. The best one I think was the one they basically gave you a free mulligan. Says, what if I salted you? You're not going to. It's very important to deal just a little tasty wasty of psychic damage at these spots. Carries over into the next game. Do I multi-stream YouTube or ever consider doing it? I don't, and don't think I would. I could think about it some. But the YouTube channel already has like the curated VODs. I feel like diluting that doesn't make a ton of sense. Also, I think on average, YouTube commenters are like 400% worse than Twitch commenters. Winter Night, 15 months. Thank you. Welcome back. On average. I'll take a turn 1 Emry with a turn 2 Murder's Cut, maybe. We also have Minamo plus Emry Cracked hand. So I don't want to play the cage yet because it does stop my Emrying. Maybe a little bit of tension. I just kind of like cage a good bit at the moment. There's a ring. So let's see what they're drawing. Renegade Rallier. I'm gonna do this now. I could, I'm not going to, but I could draw a blue card. Pitch card. Next turn I could go Murderous Cut plus double Bauble off the Emry. Rumbling, rumbling, it's coming. Pretty cool. You can like get Rallier into hand and then dump the Sophy in the yard, which is what my opponent does. So I don't know. Maybe if I could just find a blue card, I can Subtlety for a turn. There we go. Wouldn't mind casting that blue card, I suppose. So let's see if I'm going to draw another one. I am going to draw another one. So I'm already going to draw the next Tamiyo. So I want to crack this Bauble on my opponent's turn. So if I want to flip their Tamiyo, it's a bit or this my Tamiyo, it's a bit easier. It only took them like 5 years, 6 years, but they finally printed enough good cheap legends for Mox Amber to look good. Just like as a as the card we always envisioned it being, you know. Interesting. That's gonna resolve. Okay, well. Fine. Someone help with Basim. Maybe I'll draw it. It's because you're a coward who refused to play the light line. Based. Is new Satoru good? Sorry, excuse me. I mean, I've trophied with the new Satoru enough to at least, you know, like the card and think it's got a good amount of potential. I think I'm flipping this Tamiyo instead of like untapping the Emry. Nice. I think Murderous Cut plus Subtlety will stop the birthing ritual from happening, and there's a good chance I want to be able to at least play this ring, you know. Might be going for a Tamiyo ult. Oh, Basim's in my graveyard, yeah. 2 mana, 2/2, cast a historic spell. So Mox Amber, Mishra's Bauble, Tamiyo, Emry, Urza Saga targets the One Ring, draw a card. Whenever and then it becomes unblockable, triggers, and this triggers once each turn, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, um combat damage to a player, you put a counter on it. Alright, so let's cast the ring, and this may be my last Emry spell. Our opponent is undeniably cooking. So they go after the cage, so not my last Emry spell. They do get to birthing ritual me. This could be bad. Probably won't be the end of the world. Any infos the Waimoto stop hoping decklist? I don't think it's like a super intentional thing. I obviously could be wrong, and I don't think we as a community really know what's going on. I think I want to see what my next card is. Maybe I want to Minamo. Okay, I'm drawing a Subtlety for next turn. So I guess this turn is kind of straightforward. Well, hold on, maybe I have jumped the gun a little bit. Yeah, we can just kind of easily untap the ring here. Okay, then now we can play Saga. And then I can pick up a Fatal Push with Tamiyo. Don't need the ultimate. Fatal Push the Haywire Mite. Murderous Cut the 6. And I can go Pithing Needle, Shadowspear also with Subtlety up. So let's exile the creatures first, and then also redundant Bauble. Take a peek what they're drawing. Unlikely to matter at all. Gonna name Altar of Dementia. Poke in for 1. Draw a couple more cards. Deck is looking nice. Okay, we're 3-0 in our league. Pretty borderline. I think I'm happy enough to send that one back. And happy enough to keep this hand. We can still go Tamiyo into Emry on turn 2 if our Tamiyo lives. So I think that's good enough reason for me to just put back the Haywire Mite in this hand. I didn't exactly love that their deck was playing seemed like multiple Witch Enchanters, because you really want to have more lands in your deck with Satyr Wayfinder and 6. Maybe it's not that big a deal. Any decks with Arbaz in the queue? That's the Boros one, where if it casts a stroke spell, drain for one. I'm open to working on the card, but it's not super high on my list, and I haven't built one yet. As a commander player moving away from commander towards 60 card formats, is Jeskai control a deck that would be a good day one to really dive into a 60 card and strengthen my skills, or is the skill floor really high? So this is a great question, and this is a question I get pretty often. Like, Spike, I'm trying to get into modern. This is a deck that I like, and I'm worried that I'm not going to be good enough because I'm just starting out. But I really, really, really strongly encourage you and anyone else trying to get into modern to pick the deck you like. Pick the deck you like, and don't listen to people who are like, just play burn, just play prowess. One, life is too short. Your time getting to play Magic and getting to do your hobbies is too short to play decks you're not interested in. And also, every deck in Modern is complicated. Every deck in Modern, I think, has a high skill ceiling, even Burn and Prowess. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes early, and it's okay that you're making mistakes, and it's okay that you're losing. You need to learn anyways. You need to play anyways. You need to learn anyways. And so you should do that with a deck you like. You should do that with a deck that you're interested in, you think is compelling, and that you think will be fun, and is like the deck that once you get in. And you shouldn't worry about just making a lot of mistakes, and you shouldn't worry about being a noob, because you're going to be a noob, but be a noob while you're a noob. And being a noob is very fun, and like those first few months getting into modern, I think, is a pretty special time. I don't know. My opponent's internet is just slow. I'm just gonna put this over here for now. And then I'm going to pull up a fake deck list, although I don't know if this is maybe too late. L take, you will like more than one deck, and some are better for new players than others. L take, you will like more than one deck. Obviously, you're going to like more than one deck, but you can switch decks at some points. And also, the deck that is best for new players is the deck that the new player is the most interested in and think is the coolest. L. Also, the average age in this chat is maybe a little too high to be throwing out L takes. I'll take. No, I didn't know people talk like this. Soul Avenger 18 months, thank you, welcome back. Takes second Emry, and has the Solitude to go after my Emry, so there. Also, let's go online here, huh? But they kept a one-lander. Ooh, but I can play the One Ring here on turn 3. What a Grave Mart. Just buy 2,000 deck. Just get intro deck if you've never played Modern 60 card format before. Yeah. Yes. I don't know if this is something you could, obviously, if you could afford it, but every Modern deck is expensive. You also can just play Magic Online. You don't have to buy a deck. You don't have to buy a deck to play it. You can rent it on Magic Online. You can proxy it with your friends. It's like obviously the same boring stuff, but also, I don't know. I it's just like it's just this is like such a silly thing to be upset about, is my opinion of you should play the deck you like and think is interesting. I'm a big believer in this. You can disagree with me, but very funny hill to die on. You will have to buy a digital card. You don't have to buy digital cards. There's Mana Traders and Card Hoarder. You can rent every I don't buy cards. And I know I have a Magic Online content creator account, but for 5 years, I've rented every card I've played. You can rent them. You don't have to buy them. You could rent them and try a lot of different stuff. You could rent. I'm not sure they're gonna have a lot of Force of Negation targets. Obviously, don't have a lot for this matchup. We play Miser's Force of Negation. But what can we bring in here? Okay, maybe Needle the other side of a Johnny. Might just have to play the Forces. They could have Cathodia Nightmare in the deck kind of easily. Maybe I'll keep a Nihil Spellbomb in and play these Forces. But the chatter is also, Spike, I really like Jeskai Control. I think Jeskai Control is so cool. I want to play Jeskai. And I just really strongly feel, whatever, that, you know, the time you get to play with Magic is too short to, like, feel like you have to play stupid fucking prowess, which is what everyone always says. Do not play the deck you're interested in. This is the advice every Redditor gives new Modern players, and it just frustrates me so much. Do not get in. Don't play the deck you like. You need to. That deck's really expensive. So what you have to do before you buy it is spend $400 on a different deck. You have to spend $400 on a deck you don't like. That's to me. That's like so much more egregious is having to spend money on a deck that you don't even like. Then and then eventually you spend money on the deck you wanted to play in the first place anyways. It's like it's so much better to just spend money on the deck that you think is cool than like have to play this deck because this is what Reddit always says. You have to play 8 whack, you have to play burn as your first Modern deck. It's just we need to move away from this, I think. Burn on CC Bear is 260. If you're playing Flage, it's not 260 maybe. I don't know. Am I gonna Subtlety that this turn, or I'm just gonna push next turn? I think we'll Subtlety. You have to figure out if you like Modern by buying Burn first. Yeah, this is the advice that most people give, is buy Burn and then you'll figure out if you like Modern. But I don't know. And again, it's just something I disagree with kind of strongly. But you could also disagree with me without being an annoying, insufferable Redditor about it. They put the Oslo Pride on top. They put it on the bottom. They have a second Guide of Souls. Let's go ahead and push the first one. 2 cards in their hand. Yeah, I can do the deck. So mill a Shadowspear, a One Ring, and I have a Shadowspear Ring and Needle in the yard. Suppression Field, holy shit. Surprised you're not playing 6 in this deck. Maybe that's fine. Okay, so they do have Chthonian Nightmare in their decks, which I can maybe Pithing Needle. Oh, I guess I should have just Pithing Needle last turn. This costs me 2 more to Pithing Needle, I suppose. Save this for Basim. Yeah, combo. I guess maybe, I mean, they could have activated it last turn or next turn, but yeah, maybe I should just let the Suppression Field do its thing. I am already also at 7 life. Be a tough one to win. Yeah, I feel like I would try to try 6 over Questing Druid at first. It's also another permanent for your Malevolent Rumble, and kind of like goes well with your Rumble plan in general, I would think. Dude, our deck is so weak to Suppression Field. Oh yeah, no DRC is probably a punt. Don't think it's mandatory to play DRC in this kind of deck though. How are you supposed to find Chthonian Nightmare in the list? In their list? You just draw it. I play the fourth Urza Saga. Yeah, I'll just try the fourth Urza Saga, 6 over Ragavan, not play Forgotten Cave. That's like, I don't think that would do too much else. Don't really like the Pyroclasms in the board, I suppose. Okay, so we're just trying to draw an untapped land and play another ring, and then if we don't, we'll go to game 3. Okay, so let's get these Haywire Mites back in. Oh, the Force of Negation. Sorry, I don't know, I'm coughing so much. Yelling too much. Test. So Needle stops Nightmare and the other side of a Johnny. Now Spellbomb also against the Nightmare deck makes some sense. Let's go down to Subtlety. I think we'll do 3/3 here. Then maybe go down to Mox Amber. Opponent's playing Black-White Nightmare with main deck Suppression Fields, which seem a little awkward in their list, but maybe the Suppression Fields are also probably sideboard, right? Up into my Neon Sign. It's behind me. It's off at the moment. It's just like in a weird spot where either it's like not visible or it's too bright next to my head. So I wanna crack my fetch before Suppression Field can come down. Looking to mill over a Haywire Mite. I mill over 3 Basims and an Urza Saga. There it is. Don't you like the neon sign? Any budget replacements? Okay, so I imagine they're grabbing Ocelot Pride. We are going to spend 3 mana to cycle Spellbomb. Mishra's Bauble will be an awesome draw here. How does he do it? How do I know? Let's fucking go, dude. Be gone, Suppression Field. Hopefully you didn't have to. So I'm going to crack both of these on my turn because I want to maximize the chances to draw a blue card for Subtlety despite them having the slot C's. Did not draw that blue card. There's Ocelot Pride, Thoughtseize. 4 mystery cards. We need to get some water soon. Yeah. Also have special lands in their Suppression Field deck. I guess that's okay. I mean, I did it too. I did it too. Just finding the right balance with this deck can be kind of tricky. Okay, so they got 3 cards left. They took the ring, but obviously I can just Emry the ring back. Which I think that's what I'll do. Or I'll try. I guess this might just like make them sacrifice their Ranger Captain. Oh. So I should still have a swamp to get off my Delta here. Oh wait, I should really not have tapped this ring though, because now if I drew the swamp, it would have been kind of a disaster because I already played my land. Been waiting for a deck with Mox Amber Emry to be competitive. Could this be that deck? I think so. It feels like Tamiyo and Basim both they just give you 2 high card quality, cheap legends that care about artifacts and are really good with Mox Amber, and they make you not that vulnerable to artifact hate. So I am pretty excited about this one, I'll say. Oh, sorry, I forgot to bobble. Oops. Do you want to push the cat? Yeah, but we just don't need to push the cat yet. Also, I guess I should have pushed the Guide of Souls. Maybe should have had Revolt for the Fatal Push available. Yikes! Oh no! Okay, well, this is gonna be tricky. To put it very mildly, this will be tricky. I mean, if I could just find a second ring, then I can loop rings here. Look at my top card. There's a second ring. So I guess the problem here is their Ranger Captain. Yeah, I did kind of build my opponent's deck. Basim, yeah, Basim is unblockable. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I need to be looping the rings here. I don't know if I don't really feel like we had a better plan than to do this, but maybe we did. My opponent's gonna get all 4 cats in play. A Convoke build of Collector's Cage. A Convoke. Well, I mean, I have Convoke cards in the deck. I've started with the 5 mana Convoke cards, if those are the cards you're talking about, and they were not very good. Yeah, maybe Pyroclasm's back, huh? Feels like a Toxic Deluge. Yeah, Toxic Deluge is a good card. We could play it. Old Record Trigger's broken because there's an update. Usually gets broken for a few days. Doesn't Captain just stop looping rings? I mean, they could have sacked the Captain earlier and didn't. Either I'm really dumb or Rebrown is broken. It looks like they were one of those two. The Knight Errant thought Loxodon would be worth it. You probably tested more. Yeah, I've played with both. I've played with just Knight Errant, no Loxodon. I've played just Loxodon, no Knight Errant. I think I've tried both, and but I both just seem like too high on the mana curve. But maybe it's I did test it pre. This was pre Image 3, which increased the quality of like this type of stuff, so it could be better now. Okay, so the word weird over there. So opponent's gonna be gaining billions of life. And I lose my Emry, so I can't even loop anyways. They're gonna get to start putting counters on stuff. I think we're gonna be demoted to 3-1. Don't they just sack my upkeep? I mean, the thing is, my opponent could have sacked the Ranger Captain for the prior 2 turns and didn't, and so you know, usually I would concede in the spot if my opponent hadn't already made that mistake twice. But just if I have an opponent who's making mistakes, we just need to give them the ability to make more mistakes. But I agree that actually fighting through this seems unrealistic. Yeah, okay, and they have seen the line. Kind of stopped all that. Let's give this one a go. I could, if I draw a land, I can cast the ring on turn 2, which is kind of exciting. I think I'm going to be cracking this Bauble on my turn. Maybe EE. I mean, maybe it's just like it's a little weird because I do have a lot of stuff that gets swept up by sweepers. Tune the narrative. Yeah, Wrath Disguise can be tough. Although we got 4 main deck Force of Negations at least. We have a plan. Good draw. Seems as though my opponent may have a counter spell here. So why don't I just sack a clue, try to find a land drop. I'm saying that a playable card gets printed and you max its value so fast and efficiently and suppress all the time. I see, I see. Yeah, I mean, that is always the goal. I like to try to maximize the cards as much as possible and then start to pull back. Like, and like if a card is good at max quality or max, potential, then you pull back and see how it is with like higher card quality overall. But what's, at least with Basim, one thing that's like immediately pretty interesting to me is that the card just kind of seems good, even if your card quality is also pretty high here. Like we kind of like the worst card in our deck is Mox Amber, and Mox Amber is kind of great in this deck. Yeah, it seems like I can just play this tapped. And before Skies for 1, I mean I have Force Negations in my hand. Just not playing into my opponent's clear counter spell. If my opponent goes untapped land, Wrath the Skies, I guess I hardcast Force and then pitch Force. Yeah, let's go and let this go. So getting a Nihil Spellbomb for Flage seems kind of prudent. And again, my opponent just does have this obvious counterspell up, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And like their main way to beat this is Wrath the Skies, but with me just having 2 Force of Negations up seems like we should be in good shape. Did Ranger Captain feel better than Fable? And if so, was it worth losing Giganta? I think yes and yes was my answer. Ranger Captain both being good against Living End and Ruby Storm felt awesome. And it's also just like grabbing Ocelot Pride gives you such a crazy good grindy late game. I was pretty into it. So am I attacking with Haywire Mite? They can block the Haywire Mite with the Solitude. Let me just do this, I think. Okay, so we may need to draw a blue card off this Basim. I guess we could have a redraw off the Nihil Spellbomb maybe. Yeah, Wrath the Skies did kind of take the wind out of the sails of Toxic Deluge, huh? So draw a card. And then if I don't draw a blue card, I'm going to play my second Mox Amber, so I can have the Nihil Spellbomb sack up to draw a second blue card if my opponent goes Wrath the Skies counterspell. But if I just draw a blue card here, then we won't. Okay, Force of Negation pitch counterspell. Still going to do this, but kind of surprised they took that line, I guess. Dude, if they put Flage in the yard, they can escape it before I could Spellbomb. Maybe I was supposed to Spellbomb just in response there. So let me Spellbomb now. Because I might draw a different blue card to pitch. Like if I draw another Basim, I want to pitch that. Alright, Masterclass. Nice. So it is tough to board out the Shadowspear in your ring deck. This may be like the matchup to do it in, but they can kill you with Flage. Let's just keep it in. I'm going to go down to 2 Subtleties. Feels like a pretty good number. Let's play second Nihil Spellbomb. And probably just 1 Haywire Mite. Maybe the second Mite is good. Like, they're just not unbinding, right? I don't want Needle. Don't really want Flute. I guess this is just way too many Fatal Push. I think maybe 2 Fatal Push to clean up a Flage. Maybe the first Murderous Cut's better because it kills Solitude, so you do like this, just 2. Then play third Subtlety. Oh, I meant to have 2 in. I guess I dragged 1 2 mini away. Is Lantern alright? I mean, we already have 2 Nihil Spellbombs. I think it's like kind of overkill. Subtlety is also good. No Needle for Ring. Well, you may notice I have 4 rings in my deck. Could bring in Consign. Consign stops like Subtlety trigger, Solitude trigger, Ring. Just play 1. Flute on Wrath is decent. I don't know. They're gonna get up to 5 mana. And I have 4 Force of Negation, so like I feel like that's just my plan for the Wraths, and like really try to save a Force of Negation for a Wrath if I can afford to. Okay, keep this. Basim has been really good. So bubble ourselves to see if we want to keep the card on top, and certainly do in this case. Makes it much harder to have Wrath plus counter. That's true. You could convince me that it's right to have it in. Opponent's username is Lord Tywin. Oh, sorry if I update the record. Compared to Sora has Basim. Well, I mean, triggering off of 0 mana artifacts and getting to play a lot of good ones in your deck is really nice. So my opponent flages. I'll probably consign the flage trigger. Not the evoke one. Okay, Prismatic Ending. Obviously, we could Force of Negation this, but saving Force of Negation for Wrath of the Skies was a big part of our game plan, and we also have another Tamiyo. So let's not. I'm just gonna sack this clue. Surveil. Let's keep Urza Saga. Basim Affinity is a bad idea, not a crazy one. We tried it yesterday, and it went pretty poorly, but we also got to play Satoro in that deck, which was pretty cool. Could maybe be able to circle back to it, but it's just like when your deck has 4 Ornithopters and 4 Midmites in it, like it kind of doesn't matter that you're drawing that many cards because your card quality is pretty low. If that makes sense. It seems like they have a Solitude, which I can consign. The Exile trigger. How hard is it on the mana to swap 4 Subtlety for 4 Flame? I would say very bad, but I'm also of the opinion that this deck just draws so many cards. You're a Tamiyo, Basim, Ring, Emry deck. You just draw so many cards. And a lot of cards are blue, so just I think this is a really good candidate to just play the 8-pitch plan. It's kind of like the Dimir Ring deck from like or Lord of the Rings. That's just like, I have all the pitch cards and I have the ring, but you don't have to draw the ring because like you just have a lot of other good ways to get card advantage. Okay, opponent's down to 3 cards in their hand. I'm gonna go ahead and force back here. And I'm actually probably gonna plan on not playing the Urza Saga this turn, because that's committing a little bit too much into Wrath of the Skies. Likely going to cycle the Nihil Spellbomb end of turn. Corn Chips with the 55. Hope you're doing well. They drew another Prismatic Ending for turn, it seems. Take 1 ring here. Not replicating seems sus since you had the land to play. So you want to play around Force of Negation? I'm just happy if they Force of Negation because I just get to force their 4s. I don't know. feels a little nitpicky. I think our play has been pretty fine this game. So they do have a Wrath of Skies, but I just have the ring in play. It's not really doing too much. Also, they didn't need to spend that energy, did they? Well, maybe I should have fetched my breeding pool before maybe milling it over with Emry on accident. When do we draw off Clue? The Mox Amber didn't have a legend in play to tap for mana, so we only had 1 mana. Corn Chips, the 55. Thank you, welcome back. 2 cards in their hand. They have their own ring. Haven't found the Haywire Mite yet, I guess. Okay, down to 11. Basim. Okay, well, it seems there wasn't a Haywire Mite in the top 32 cards of my library, so they get to be in the game. Good thing we kept Shadowspear in. Yeah, I mean, I think you need the Shadowspear in your ring deck that has no other life gain. It's like, if we had Shieldreds, we could afford to board it out sometimes, but it just kind of feels like you really could never board it out. Well, dude, they have Minamo. Wow. They're in this. They actually kind of buffed Fervent Blade. There's like this Boros card from Lord of the Rings, but from Assassin's Creed, but I don't think it'll be very good, unfortunately. You're gonna kill the new card, kill the old card. They do kill Basim. They got 6 cards in their hand. We got some Haywire Mites in the deck. Alright, so let's cast Tamiyo, flip Tamiyo. Oh, oops. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just sack this now, because I really have a daydream about drawing a Haywire Mite. Not this time. How do you feel about making the Wandering Usurper 1 copy? It's like this silly thing that people say, and it just doesn't make any sense. I think it would be a kind of dumb thing to happen if it happened. Should be milling with these extra Emrys to find one? I don't know. We only have 23 cards in our library. We might deck ourselves. Didn't you say Emry sucks the bottom of a pond? I don't think I ever used those exact words, but I have said Emry sucks many times. Emry got a lot better with the printing of Basim and the printing of Tamiyo. That this kind of deck is more possible again. If you remember, Emry was one of the most broken modern decks of all time with Mox Opal and Urza and Arkham's Astrolabe and Once Upon a Time and Mystic Sanctuary. That deck was awesome, but they banned a lot of those cards, and so your ability to play like a fair, high card quality Emry deck has just gone out the window. But now you can again, and it's kind of awesome. I guess I'm not going to need to sack the Spellbomb, so I don't want to make a construct into a prismatic ending. Oh, we also have Tamiyo that's still letting the Mox Amber tap for mana. So discarding a card. We go down to 8. Kind of thinking I just can't play Emry this game. It's gonna mill too many cards. Oh, they concede. Well, that's great. Okay, so 4-1, the first league on the day. Let's run it back. I think that was a good looking league. Let's consider. Oh, there's a deck tech. Give me a second on the deck tech. Let me just open it though. Corn chips to the 55.